All right, so here we are back at the same seed this time because we're doing survival mode after the unfortunate events of last time. Because we have all the villagers already all set up and ready to go, I decided this time to try and focus on making some farms to make some more money. I know that I could just do what I always do and just chop wood down and make sticks and sell them like I'm doing here, but I decided that I kind of wanted to change things up a little bit and see if I could get some money some other ways. I looked up a couple of videos online on the whole process of making money, and they said that like pumpkin farms were kind of a common thing. I've done like the general thing of selling pumpkins on a couple of seeds in the past, but I've never made an official pumpkin farm. So in order to make the pumpkin farm though, I needed to get some quartz. So with no armor, we decided to head out into the Nether and get some stuff. I originally had a little bit more stuff, but unfortunately I shot an arrow at a ghast, but the arrow didn't hit the ghast. It hit one of like the zombie piglins, and so in order to survive, well, in order to do anything in the Nether, I ended up just having to let them kill me, and so. But we didn't have footage for that, and I didn't feel like doing a recreation. One recreation per video is enough for me. Anyways, so I was able to get some quartz, and that allowed me to make some observers so that I could set up this pumpkin farm. This is kind of a couple of blocks away from my Nether portal, and then obviously below the ground. But I decided to do this one since it was close, because I know that it needs to be within like a certain distance of where you go. I have a texture pack. I think it's one of the ones that they use on like Hermitcraft or something like that. That's where I get some of my stuff, because that's how I don't know anything about like texture packs or things like that, which is why I've never done anything with shaders. I want to figure out eventually how to do shaders so that I can see my ugly builds in beautiful light. Anyways, but yeah, so I added their like redstone pack so that I could see what direction hoppers were going along with observers. And then I took some of the iron that I had and I made a bunch of rails, which is also why I had to go into the Nether, because I didn't have any gold and I needed gold for my power rails. So I did that. And here I had originally placed them down every so often, and then I remembered that in order to use redstone rails or whatever, powered rails, you need a redstone torch in order to power them. So I had to adjust that a little bit. I have a link to the video where I got this tutorial in the description down below. They did a much better job, and they did one on a larger scale, and so I cut mine down because I didn't have as much material for observers. But because of how well my general pumpkin farm is doing, I decided I probably will eventually go on and expand it out a little bit further. While I'm doing this, be sure that you leave a like if you like the video, comment, and subscribe, and give me advice for things that I can do to help me get better at this game. So I placed the blocks over the observer parts, and then I placed the redstone down, and my pumpkin farm was in operation, which allowed me to buy a bunch of the gear that I needed for tackling on the Nether Fortress, which is actually right next to the portal. So even though I said that my portal side, or my Nether side of my portal, was pretty unfortunate because of the very large drop and the fact that I got knocked off by a ghast, which was really upsetting last time. Anyways, but even though it was like that close or whatever, it actually, if you, not the direction that the ghast was, but directly behind the portal, the opposite direction of the large lake, was actually another fortress. So it actually worked out pretty well. There's technically you can't see it, but there's technically another fortress, which was actually how I stumbled upon this one, that's in it's like the blue tree biome or whatever. I don't know what it's called. It's not Crimson, but it's the other one. It's the one that you get a bunch of Endermen in. So maybe at one point we'll go and clear that out and try and make like a wither skeleton farm or something, which I think would be kind of cool because I like fighting wither skeletons, but at the same time I know that I could die at any moment. I did for one of my hardcore worlds. I didn't make it into a video because I wasn't recording. End up dying to a wither skeleton, but I only ever did that once in all the times that I was playing in hardcore mode, which I was kind of proud about. The other thing that I run into, the only issue I really had with this fortress was the fact that I tended to get a little bit lost with all the levels and stuff, so I need to get some of those, I don't know what they are exactly, but they're the blocks that have the like arrows on them to kind of point me, this is how you get to this location, or this is how you get to that location. Thankfully, some of this stuff I was able to keep because I wasn't carrying it at the time, but eventually I slowly got all my stuff back up for the most part, so that I could kind of trade some stuff up. Right here, I'm swapping my logs over so that I can get some more ender eyes because we need that in order to go and fight the dragon. Because we need that. And I hadn't traded him up beforehand because I always like to get the blaze rods and then trade him up, which is kind of silly. I don't know exactly the villager's job is called. It's like a brewmaster, but unfortunately I've been wandering and I wasn't looking and I fell and died. This is actually a recreation of it because I didn't hit record. Thanks. Bye.